my take on it is a little different.
What's your
I
take?
have been in long distance relationships in the past. I have dated, outside of, Atlanta. And for me, again, it depends on the people, um, the two that's getting to know each other. Because I will tell you, dating around Atlanta,
Well, the
Wait a
two people I
minute.
did date
Wait a
long
minute.
distance.
Hold on, Valerie. Valerie, I need a bruh. What you doing, Valerie?
You got challenges that you're going to run across.
so with dating, that's a part of the process. But don't waste my time because I'm not gonna waste yours. If it's no match, I keep it moving. I have gone on dates and it didn't work, right? Whether it didn't work for them, it didn't work for me. But yeah, so the app is good. I have not had any. Yes, I have. I was about to lie.
I was about to say that. Give me some of the horror stories now. Come
Listen,
on.
I have had some psycho Sams.
Okay. What happened? Like what?
There was one particular incident. The person seemed very nice. He was a gentleman. We communicated for a while. We communicated via chat for a while. Then we took it to the phone, and then we met out, to watch a game or whatever, and it was cool. But it seemed like from us meeting out that time to watch the game, he became very territorial. Like, we're not in a relationship. We're not any of that. We're getting to know each other. And here's the thing. And I don't know if we're going to get on this. One of the mistakes that a lot of people make, especially women, is we overlook red flags when they are plain and clear in front of us and in plain view, in plain sight, however you want to say it. And we overlook it thinking that it isn't a red flag. And then the more you deal with the person and down the line and you reflect and you're like, I've been saying this from the beginning, but we were dating or looking to date potential. So a lot of times we bring things on ourselves when we're out here on these dating sites because you see things that you should be paying more attention to and you choose not to.
Hold that thought on the red flag. We're going to come back to it. So Clarence, give me your horror story.
I really don't. My only real horror story is meeting somebody that didn't really look like their picture.
And what do you do
I just believe that when it comes to online dating, I think women kind of get the short end of the stick, to be honest with you, because women are looking for quality in most cases, not quantity. But like I told you before, a decent dude, a good dude has a mix. He has a variety of quality and quantity online. That's why sometimes it's easy to talk to 10 or 15 different people because there's so many people. You can't talk to all those people. You know what I'm saying? So while you could just be swiping left, a guy's got so many choices to be swiping right because there's more choice.
So let me ask you this, Clarence, because with you saying that, when you say the choices, I don't understand, and Tony, you can probably chime in on this, thinking back before you got married or what have you. Like, I personally don't have the mental capacity to entertain so many different people at the same time and dating and getting to know everybody. Well, I won't say everybody, but a great majority of people say, oh, just date multiple people, or you're dating to get to know somebody. But if you're dating 4 or 5 people, how do you really know? You know what I'm saying?
Because you can't. So you have to just really, hopefully you meet somebody that you connect with, and then you just pause your account and just talk to that person. Because if not, you're going to meet somebody that may be 45 minutes away and this person is 5 minutes away. And then the next person may live, 10 minutes away. So you're right. It's impossible to really get to know somebody when you're meeting that many people, because in real life, a woman would be lucky if 5 guys in a month came up to her to try to talk to her and get a phone number. But online, you may have 25 guys all want to get to know you. That ain't real life because it don't really work that way. Even with me, when I was online, I didn't have that many women trying to talk to me, whites and blacks and Asian and Indian. I'm out living my normal life. I really don't meet a whole lot of people.
Right.
But online, you can meet a lot, but it depends on what your intention is. Everybody don't have the right intention. So if your intention is wrong and you just going through numbers, you'll find what you're looking for. But if you are more specific, you know, then it takes time to get to know that person and talk to them.
You know what's funny about that? Well, I guess it is kind of funny when you said most of the time you don't meet that many people, and that's true. So you're saying that there are ladies on this dating site. I don't know how they do it. I'm message you.
Yeah, just like what she said. You'll have somebody that may like your picture. They may like your profile. So they'll like yours. And if you like them.
So what does that mean when they like it?
It just means that they like whatever you got on your profile, they liked it. So now it's up to you to like theirs or to not respond.
Okay.
But if you got 20 people liking you today, you can't talk to all 20 people. You can't get all 20 people your phone number and take them out. Like my thing is, I don't take people out to eat when I meet somebody online. I just don't get into that game. I'd be broke if I did that.
Yeah.
Taking you out to eat and taking them out to eat. I don't do all that. Even my current girlfriend, I told her I wasn't taking her out to eat. No, I did, but I told her I wasn't, you know, because a guy is the one that makes the initiative to say, hey, let's meet up.
Right.
So that you can meet in person. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I just think that sometimes women get the shorter end of the stick because I do believe a lot of guys are just going through numbers. That's just my personal belief. But when you've been there and done that and you're older, you may be looking for something different. You know what I'm saying? So, but there's a lot of good women on there.
Has it been situations where Kai and Clarence, somebody liked you, you didn't respond back? Did they come back and like you again?
The apps I've been on. Go ahead, Clarence.
No, I mean, I haven't had nobody like, well, yeah, because like she said before, they're on 3 and 4 different sites. And they may like you on another site if you on another site.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So my response is typically if someone likes you, if you swipe left, then that person doesn't show again unless you just cycle back through and people that have some mutual things in common. But for the most part, if you swipe left, no, they may cycle back around and they may like you again. But a lot of times I don't think they do. And in my experience, what I've noticed is if there is an interest, right? If they've already swiped right that they like me or express some kind of interest, sometimes they'll comment on the photo that you may have up or something like that to let you know that they're interested. If they do that, and even if I go to comment in return, it's going to say that it's going to give you a little sign like there's a match, right? Because you all are communicating. Once communication stops, you don't have to continue that communication. Like you can go up and delete the chat for everybody or whatever the case may be. But for me, the sites has been like, they're overwhelming. I may get on there and I may be on a day or a couple of days. And next thing you know, I'm off of it, or I'll take a pause because I'm like, this is too much. It's overwhelming. Like, and it's a distraction. It's a major distraction.
You can find yourself on there for an hour, and the only thing you're doing is swiping. You know, and it's convenient, but like she said, it's overwhelming. You can't talk to all those people. People have the motive, just like the guy that you said was possessive. He would have been that way if you met him at the grocery store. Because wherever you go with you. Whether you online or offline, wherever you go with you.
Mm-hmm.
So Kai, give me some red flags, and then Clarence, I'm gonna come to you for the red flags. What's your red flags that you ignore?
What's some red flags that I have ignored?
Yeah.
Someone always speaking of themselves or always, it's one thing for us to get to know each other and we're learning what each other do, but it's another thing when you're kind of braggadocious about it. And I have this, I have that, or I've done this and I've done that, because and this is Clarence, you can chime in as well, because I think now the perception that a lot of men have is that when they see women of a certain caliber, it automatically makes them think that this woman only looks for men or only interested in men who are going to buy things for them or do this or do that. Like that will not, again, I'm old school. You have to court me. You have to date me. right? So that doesn't mean go out and buy me a Louis bag. I buy Louis bags for myself if that's what I want. I want to know, like, you have to be intentional and you have to approach me with purpose, because that's what you're going to get from me up front, because I know what I am positioning myself for. So when we talk about red flags, someone coming to me because I carry myself a certain way and they're sharing all these things or cars or all of this, thinking that that's something that's going to pique my interest, and it isn't. And it also makes me feel, okay, you're trying to put me in this box, maybe of other women that you have dealt with in the past, because that's what you had to do, or that's what you needed to do to even get them to go out on a date. As a matter of fact, since this came up, all this stuff about you can't take a person here to this restaurant, you can't do this and you can't do that craziness that people be talking about now, like, where did that come from? Like, we are truly in a different era, because people are now like, what are you really dating for? Are you
can't
really
go to the
look, you can't
Now,
go.
I will say this now, Tony. I have told some people I don't do relationship restaurants the first time I meet you. People say, well, what's a relationship restaurant? I'm not going to Fogo de Chao the first time I meet you. That's what I consider.
Well, one of the young ladies
restaurant.
said you can't take her to no Cheesecake Factory.
Well,
She ain't going,
so here's my
I love
take
Cheesecake
on,
Factory, man.
look,
Listen.
here's my take on
I do
that.
too.
Again, for me, it's about us getting to know each other. I get it. Some people have other motives. But for me, it's about being able to converse in person to see if there's still, there's commonality there. You can talk, you can meet somebody on an app, you can chat, right? Then you can talk to them on the phone. Then the next phase is, how is that person in person? Am I attracted to you in person? Another thing that I've overlooked sometimes, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that because it's
Say
no. I'm just saying, red flags. I have overlooked red flags. I have overlooked when people, you're getting to know them, and now you're dating, and you always say, "I trust you" until you give me a reason not to. And when they start giving you reasons not to trust them, because you care about them and you're starting to develop feelings for them, and instead of you communicating or asking questions, because that's one thing I used to do. I used to make assumptions. Now I don't make any assumptions. It's either I'm going to ask you or you need to ask me, because assumptions can always be wrong and it can be misleading. So if you feel a certain type of way, or you feel, well, she said this and that's not happening, and I see something else, I'm going to tell you the truth. So I expect that from you, right? So yeah, I've overlooked red flags. They say they're here. Next thing I know, that's what dating apps do. It gives people the ability to date somebody in Chicago, St. Louis, New York, DC, Atlanta, Houston, and they can say they're working, but they thrown out somewhere else to be with somebody.
They could be lying. They can set their profile. I was telling Tony, man, if you single dude and you going to Miami for a week, you can just set your profile for Miami, and before you get there, you got folks you're already hanging out with. That's the internet. Right. You know what I'm saying? But
what's your red flags?
As far for me, I haven't had a lot of red flags. Now, like Kai was saying, there are some people that tell you how expensive they are. It's not, most people are not like that. You know what I'm saying? I have people told me we got to do dinner the first time we meet. Well, we never met up, right? Because I'm gonna be somewhere neutral. Barnes and Noble or coffee shop or the Beltline. Because if it's about you getting to know them, I'm not trying to get into in the bed with you. Just like you're not trying to get into my pocket. If it's trying to get to know you, there's a lot of places you can go where it's a public place and the place is nice and you can sit down and have coffee and tea. Right. You'll get to brunch and dinner. You'll get to do all of that. Right. When I met the young lady I'm dating now,
Let me ask you a question.
Go.
Now, I don't know if you, before you got into this relationship or you were out on the apps, do you only date locally, or do you expand your reach in dating to like other states?
I've dated long distance. Long distance is extremely hard. You got to have a game plan. If you meet somebody.
It depends on the people.
Huh?
I think it depends on the people.
Yeah, you got to, if you meet somebody that you connect with, eventually you're going to have to be in the same place. And if two people are okay with that, that's cool. But I don't want to have to be, I can't wait to see you in 3 weeks. I can't wait to see you in 2 months. You know what I'm saying? I don't like all that. So I'd rather meet somebody that's closer. But if you do meet somebody long distance, eventually you got to be in the same place.
So I see it. My take on it is a little different.
What's your take?
I have been in long distance relationships in the past. I have dated, outside of, Atlanta. And for me, again, it depends on the people. The two that's getting to know each other. Well, now, if you had issues or triggers of certain things in the past, that may play a factor in it, right? When it comes to trust and you have this distance and all of that. But I think it will work. It can work based on the two people. And as the relationship continues to progress, of course, the conversation has to be had about whether someone will relocate or whatever, should things, continue to move forward. But I just think, I think it depends on the people, and if they're honest and intentional and what it is they're looking for. Because I will tell you, dating around Atlanta.
Well, the two people I did date long distance.
Hold on, Valerie. Valerie, I need a bruh. There you go. All right,
Yeah.
Atlanta is bad.
Listen, and here's the thing. Hear me out. I'm saying Atlanta because I am in Atlanta. I'm sure if I was in Houston or somebody else is in Houston or Dallas or DC or wherever, they would probably say the same thing. But in Atlanta, my experience.
Atlanta's different though, because Atlanta's the melting pot. So you go to Texas, somewhere in Texas, most people in Texas live in Texas. They from Texas. Atlanta's not like that. Yeah. You can have a room full of people and ask to raise your hand if you're from Atlanta. Most people won't raise their hand.
Yeah.
Well,
so Atlanta's a melting pot.
But everything, Atlanta's an amazing social city, right? Or even the suburbs, everything.
Right.
It's almost like.
Make sure that you like and subscribe and hit the all button and all that kind of stuff, because we're going to have a lot of good interviews on this podcast.